Hey everyone, ready to get glowing? We're talking holistic beauty today.
And we're going deep.
Deeper than just those fancy creams and serums, eh?
Exactly. We're going way beyond the surface level.
Okay, so for this deep dive, we're taking a look at an article
From Spavelous online magazine,
called
Holistic Beauty 101, Simple Steps to Glowing Skin. It's a really fascinating read.
Yeah, and it really seems to get at that idea of like glowing from the inside out.
One of the first things that struck me was how the article really emphasizes that connection.
Between.
Internal health and outward appearance.
Oh, totally. Like you can't expect to have amazing skin if you're not taking care of your whole self.
It uses this great analogy. It's like a plant. You need healthy soil to grow beautiful flowers.
Okay, yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
So it's not just about what we put on our skin, but what we put into our bodies too.
Exactly. The article breaks it down into 3 pillars.
Ooh, pillars. I like it. Lay it on me. What are they?
Okay, so we've got internal wellness,
Okay.
natural care,
Makes sense.
and mindful practices.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about these pillars.
Well, think of them as the foundation for a truly holistic approach to beauty.
So starting with internal wellness, I'm guessing that's all about like what we eat and how we take care of our bodies.
You got it. It's about nourishing your body from the inside out.
So we're talking gut health, nutrition, getting enough sleep, all that good stuff.
Exactly. All the things we know we should be doing. But they really do make a difference in how we look and feel.
Right. Because we've all been there, right? A bad night's sleep and it shows up on your face immediately.
Totally. Okay, so then there's natural care.
Which, does that mean I have to ditch all my skincare products and go completely DIY?
Not necessarily. It's more about working with your body's natural processes, not against them.
So being gentle, choosing products with minimal processing, and really paying attention to what your skin needs.
Exactly. And then the third pillar, mindful practices.
This is where stress management and self-care come in, right?
Absolutely. It's about that mind-body connection.
Yeah, totally. Like when you're stressed, it shows up on your skin.
Right. Stress can wreak havoc on our complexion, so finding ways to manage it is key.
Totally. Okay, so we've got these 3 pillars. It's all making sense. But I have a condition. I'm a bit of a science geek. Like, is there any research to actually back up these holistic beauty claims?
Oh, there totally is. And that's what I love about this article. It doesn't just talk about ancient traditions, it actually bridges the gap between that ancient wisdom and modern science.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me more.
Well, for example, did you know there's a proven link between gut health and skin health?
Wait, really? I've heard about the gut-brain connection, but gut-brain skin.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Scientists are discovering that the trillions of bacteria in our gut, the gut microbiome.
Yeah, it's like a whole ecosystem in there, right?
Exactly. And it turns out they play a huge role in overall health, including skin health. It's all connected.
Okay, so how does that work? Like, if my gut's unhappy, does that mean I'm doomed to breakouts?
Well, think about it this way. If your gut is inflamed or imbalanced, it can trigger inflammation throughout the body, including in your skin.
Ah, that makes sense. So it's not just about what we put on our skin, but also about reducing inflammation from within.
Exactly. And that's why gut health is such a hot topic right now, not just for digestion, but for a clear, radiant complexion too.
Wow, okay. I never realized how much science was behind all this. I'm impressed.
Me too.
Yeah.
And the article also talks about how a lot of traditional beauty practices from around the world, they were really onto something. Well, they mentioned Japanese beauty rituals, for example.
Yeah, I've heard those are all about like prevention and gentle care, right?
Exactly. And then there's Ayurveda, which is a whole system of medicine from India.
Which personalizes skincare based on individual body types, right?
So cool. It's like they were way ahead of their time. And speaking of ancient wisdom, we can't forget about adaptogenic herbs.
Oh yeah, adaptogens. That's another one I've been hearing a lot about lately, but I'm not really sure how they work.
Basically, they're plants that have been used for centuries in traditional medicine to help the body adapt to stress. And now we're seeing scientific studies that back up a lot of those traditional uses.
That's so cool. So give me an example. How does one of these adaptogens actually work?
Okay, take ashwagandha, for example. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries. And now we have studies showing that it can help regulate cortisol, the stress hormone.
Oh yeah, cortisol is the one that can lead to breakouts and premature aging, right?
Exactly. So by managing your stress with something like ashwagandha, you're not just helping your mind, you're helping your skin too.
Okay, so lower cortisol equals calmer me and happier skin. Sign me up. But I have to ask, where do we even begin to apply all this information? It's a lot to take in.
Well, the article outlines a few simple steps to start your holistic beauty journey. They talk about these morning, daily, and evening rituals.
Okay, rituals. Sounds intriguing. So tell me more. What kind of rituals are we talking about?
Well, they're really all about incorporating simple, mindful practices into your existing routine.
And these are things we can easily do every day, right?
Exactly. They're not about adding a ton of extra steps to your routine.
Okay, I like the sound of that. Low effort, high impact, right?
hmm
So walk me through some of these rituals. What do they suggest?
Well, for starters, they recommend beginning your day with a simple glass of warm lemon water.
Okay, warm lemon water, that's a classic, right?
Yeah.
I've heard that's good for digestion, but does it really impact my skin?
Well, think of it this way. When your digestion is sluggish, it can lead to a buildup of toxins in your body.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And those toxins can show up as skin problems.
Exactly. Like breakouts and dullness. But the warm lemon water helps to flush those toxins out, giving your skin a chance to breathe and radiate from within.
Interesting. So it's not just about what we're putting on our skin, but also what we're eliminating from our bodies.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sold on the lemon water. What other rituals do they recommend?
Okay, so they also emphasize the importance of facial massage. Even just a few minutes a day can make a difference.
You know, I've tried facial massage before, but I wasn't really sure if it was actually doing anything or if it was just, a nice way to pamper myself.
It definitely feels good, but it's more than just pampering. It actually has real benefits for your skin.
Okay, like what?
So facial massage helps improve something called lymphatic drainage.
Lymphatic drainage. That's like your body's natural detox system, right?
Exactly. It also boosts circulation, which brings fresh oxygen and nutrients to the skin cells. It's like a mini workout for your face.
Okay, a mini workout for my face, I can get behind that. So it's like all these little things that can add up to a big difference, right?
Precisely. And speaking of little things, the article also highlights a bunch of natural ingredients that are supposed to be like powerhouses for the skin.
Okay, spill the tea. Which ingredients are we talking about?
Well, they mention rosehip oil, green tea, aloe vera. Have you heard of those?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Those are like the all-stars of natural skincare. Right? But I have to admit, sometimes I get a little skeptical. I've tried so many products that just haven't worked for me.
I totally get it. There's a lot of hype out there. But honestly, a lot of these natural ingredients, they're effective because they work with your skin's natural functions, not against them.
Okay, I'm listening. Give me an example. How does one of these ingredients actually work?
Okay, so let's take rosehip oil, for example. It's packed with vitamin C.
Okay, vitamin C, that's an antioxidant, right?
Yeah.
Good for protecting your skin from environmental damage.
Exactly. And it's also rich in fatty acids.
Which are good for.
Fatty acids are essential for a healthy skin barrier, and a strong barrier helps to keep moisture in and irritants out, leading to smoother, more hydrated skin.
Okay, rosehip oil is sounding pretty promising.
It's a good one.
Okay, what about green tea? I know it's good to drink, but how does it actually benefit my skin?
Well, think about all the antioxidants you get from sipping green tea, right? Those same antioxidants work wonders when you apply them topically, too.
Okay.
They help to combat free radical damage, reduce inflammation, and even protect against sun damage.
Wow, okay, green tea is a multitasker. So basically, my morning coffee ritual should involve green tea and a face massage. My bathroom is about to get very zen. But seriously, this is all great information. But I have to admit, sometimes I get overwhelmed thinking about overhauling my entire routine.
I hear you. And that's why the article emphasizes making holistic beauty sustainable. It's not about making drastic changes overnight. It's about incorporating small, manageable steps into your existing routine.
So no need to go full DIY beauty guru and whip up a bunch of complicated concoctions.
Exactly. Even something as simple as, taking 3 deep breaths while you apply your moisturizer can make a difference. It's about being present and mindful, connecting with yourself and your body.
Okay, yeah, that I can definitely do. Breathe and moisturize.
It's all about finding those little moments of self-care throughout your day.
And the article mentions a few other examples, right? Like keeping a facial mist at your desk for a quick refresh, or being mindful of your posture throughout the day.
Exactly. It's all about those tiny habits that add up over time.
Totally. But I'm curious, what about some of the more advanced holistic beauty practices? The article mentions things like Ayurveda and holistic hair care.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole section called Exploring the Depths of Holistic Beauty, where things get really interesting.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So take Ayurveda, for example. It's this 5,000-year-old system of natural healing from India.
5,000 years old. Wow, they must be onto something.
Right. And it takes a holistic approach to well-being. It's all about understanding your unique mind-body constitution. They call it your dosha.
Your dosha. Okay, I've heard that term before.
Yeah, and using personalized practices and ingredients to bring your body into balance.
Wow, that's fascinating. I definitely want to learn more about Ayurveda. What about holistic hair care? What's that all about?
Well, it goes way beyond just the products you use. It's about scalp health, stress management, even your diet.
Really? So everything we do can impact the health of our hair.
It's all connected, right? This whole deep dive is making me realize how much there is to learn about holistic beauty.
Me too. Like a whole new way of thinking about self-care.
Exactly. It's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good from the inside out.
I love that.
And it's about recognizing that beauty is so much more than just skin deep. It's about taking care of your whole self.
Okay, I am officially inspired to embark on my own holistic beauty journey. But before we get carried away with all the possibilities, what about the myths and misconceptions surrounding holistic beauty?
Oh, yeah, there are definitely some out there. And the article actually addresses some of them head on. There's a whole section on myth busting.
Perfect. Let's dive into those myths in part two. All right, so myth busting time. Hit me with some of those common misconceptions about holistic beauty.
Okay, so one of the big ones is that natural ingredients are somehow less effective than conventional skincare products.
Yeah, like you need those harsh chemicals to really see results.
Right, exactly. But as we've been discussing, natural ingredients can be super powerful, especially when you combine them with that, like ancient wisdom and modern science.
And they often work more in harmony with your skin, right? Instead of just like stripping it or disrupting its natural balance.
Exactly. Another myth the article tackles is that holistic beauty is all about DIY concoctions and complicated rituals.
Which, let's be honest, can be a bit intimidating.
Totally. But the truth is, you can totally incorporate those holistic principles into your routine without turning your bathroom into a laboratory.
Okay, good, because I'm not exactly DIY queen.
You don't have to be. It's really about finding small, sustainable changes that work for you and your lifestyle. Remember those 3 deep breaths while applying moisturizer. That's holistic beauty in action.
It's just a simple thing, but I bet it makes a difference.
It really does. It's about bringing that mindfulness into those everyday moments.
Totally. Okay, but speaking of effectiveness, are there any downsides to holistic beauty? Like, what if I don't see those results right away?
That's a great question. And it's important to remember that holistic beauty is a journey. It's not a quick fix, you know?
Yeah, I can see that. It's about cultivating a lifestyle, right?
Exactly. It's about creating habits that support your overall well-being, and that takes time and consistency.
So patience is key.
Definitely. And it's also about shifting your focus a little bit. Instead of looking for external validation, it's about that internal satisfaction.
Okay, so it's more about how you feel rather than how you look.
In a way, yes, because true beauty radiates from within, and that comes from nourishing your mind, body, and spirit.
I love that. So it's not about chasing some impossible standard of perfection. It's about feeling good in your own skin.
Exactly. And that feeling of well-being, that confidence and radiance, that's the true magic of holistic beauty.
This deep dive has been so eye-opening. I feel like I have a whole new toolkit for achieving true, lasting beauty.
I'm so glad to hear that. And remember, it's a journey meant to be enjoyed. So take your time, experiment, and discover what works best for you. And most importantly, have fun with it.
That's great advice. I think we've covered a lot of ground today. But before we wrap up, is there one final, thought-provoking idea you want to leave our listener with?
You know, the article talks a lot about achieving radiance through holistic beauty, but it never really defines what radiance means. What does it mean to you to radiate beauty?
Such a good question. I think for me, radiance is about embracing your authentic self. It's that inner spark that shines through, regardless of age or wrinkles or any perceived imperfections.
Beautifully said. And I think that's a message we can all take to heart. True radiance comes from self-acceptance, self-love, and living in alignment with our values.
So it's not about trying to fit into a mold. It's about celebrating our own unique individuality.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we are all beautiful in our own way. So go ahead, embrace those simple rituals, nourish your body with good food and positive thoughts, and let your inner light shine through.
This deep dive has been so insightful. I feel inspired to start my own holistic beauty journey.
I'm so glad.
And to all our listeners out there, we hope you feel inspired too. Remember, holistic beauty is about so much more than just skincare. It's a whole new way of thinking about self-care and well-being.
And the best part is, it's a journey that's available to everyone.
So go ahead, take what you've learned today and start incorporating it into your own life, one small step at a time.
You might be surprised at the difference it makes.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into holistic beauty.
Until next time, stay radiant.
I feel like we've just scratched the surface. There's so much to unpack with holistic beauty. But before we get too carried away, I'm curious about those myths and misconceptions surrounding holistic beauty. Does the article address any of those?
Oh, absolutely. It has a whole section dedicated to myth busting. And it tackles some common concerns people have. Like, for example, some people believe that natural ingredients are just, well, less effective.
Than conventional skincare products.
Yeah, like you need those harsh chemicals to see real results.
Right. I've heard that before.
But as we've seen, natural ingredients can be incredibly powerful, especially when you combine them with ancient wisdom and modern scientific understanding.
And they often work in harmony with your skin.
Right. Rather than disrupting its natural balance.
That makes sense.
Right.
What about the idea that holistic beauty is all about those, like, DIY concoctions and complicated rituals?
Yeah, it can be a bit intimidating.
Totally.
But the truth is, you can incorporate holistic principles into your routine without turning your bathroom into a laboratory.
Okay, good, because I'm not exactly a DIY queen.
You don't have to be. It's really about finding small, sustainable changes that work for your lifestyle. Remember those 3 deep breaths while applying moisturizer. Holistic beauty in action.
I love that. So simple, yet so effective. But speaking of effectiveness, are there any downsides to holistic beauty? Like, what if I don't see results right away?
That's a great question. And it's so important to remember that holistic beauty, it's a journey. It's not a quick fix.
So patience is key.
Exactly. And it's about kind of shifting your focus from external validation to internal satisfaction.
More about how you feel than how you look.
Yeah, true beauty radiates from within, and that comes from nourishing your mind, body, and spirit.
I love that. So it's not about chasing some, like, impossible standard of perfection, but about feeling good in your own skin.
Now you're getting it. That feeling of well-being, that confidence and radiance, that's the true magic of holistic beauty.
This deep dive has been amazing. I
Yep.
feel like I have a whole new toolkit for achieving true, lasting beauty.
I'm so glad to hear that.
But as we wrap up, is there one final thought-provoking idea you want to leave our listener with? Something to really ponder?
The article talks a lot about achieving radiance through holistic beauty, but it never actually defines what radiance means. What does it mean to you to radiate beauty?
That's such a great question. I think for me, radiance is about embracing your authentic self. It's that inner spark that shines through, regardless of age, wrinkles, or any perceived imperfections.
Beautifully said, and I think that's a message we can all take to heart. True radiance comes from self-acceptance, self-love, and living in alignment with our values.
So it's not about trying to fit into a mold, but about celebrating our unique individuality.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we are all beautiful in our own way. So go ahead, embrace those simple rituals, nourish your body with good food and positive thoughts, and let your inner light shine through.
I feel so inspired to start my own holistic beauty journey. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into holistic beauty.
It's been a pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, we hope you feel inspired too. Remember, holistic beauty is about so much more than just skincare. It's a whole new way of thinking about self-care and well-being.
And the best part is, it's a journey that's available to everyone.
So go ahead, take what you've learned today and start incorporating it into your own life, even just one small step at a time. You might be surprised at the difference it makes.
Until next time.
Stay radiant.